All right, Rob. Steph Curry recently gave his all-time starting five. Now, have you seen this, Rob? Do you know what it is? What his all-time starting five was?
Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's let the
Rob G,
listeners
go ahead, just
hear it. Do we have sound of Steph? Rob G? No sound.
No.
Okay, Rob G, give us his starting five.
Well, you need the context first, guys. So he's doing this promotional tour for his documentary where Rob, vehemently says it's not an underdog story.
Right.
So the whole documentary,
even though he played at Davidson.
Yeah,
exactly.
So in any event, he did this. He was asked this
I
back.
say he is an underdog.
He was a lottery pick.
He was asked a similar question 7 months ago. I don't know what it was for, but they said,
really?
"Hey, who's your all-time starting five? You got to pick a team." And in December, his five were Shaq, Magic, Jordan, Dirk Nowitzki, and himself.
Wow.
So I don't recall if there was any pushback at that time. Maybe it was in the middle of the NBA
I didn't even
season,
hear that.
and we just missed it completely. Well, during the promo tour for his documentary, he was asked the question again, and you would think
he's a flip-flopper.
he must have wised up. He's like, I'm not going to put myself in there because that just looks bad, right?
It looks
we've
terrible,
talked about
right?
that.
So his first one was Steph, Jordan,
Dirk
Magic,
Nowitzki,
Dirk,
over Bird,
and Shaq?
Yes,
Is that what it was?
correct.
Okay.
So he was asked again, and this time he took himself off. So he kept the original three. Shaq, Jordan, and Magic were still there. He replaced Dirk Nowitzki with Tim Duncan. And then he's listening to small forward, and he says, I'll go with Larry Bird. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. So you think, it's going to be LeBron James, right?
Right.
No, I'm going to put Kobe Bryant at small forward.
Wow.
And take LeBron, leave him completely off the list.
It's really interesting, Rob, because he left LeBron off twice.
but Chris, this is what's so surprising, and it's not just. I got to say this, and I think you'll agree. I get LeBron is a contemporary of his. I get that. I do. I understand that. But he's the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. Like, you don't respect that at all? Like, Chris, you don't respect that at all? And all of the stuff, I'm not the biggest LeBron guy for other reasons, but I respect his numbers. Chris, right. That's why he's second on my list. Everybody's always shocked when I say I respect that he's played. He's put up the numbers. What part? I ripped the other players when they didn't vote for him for the All-Star game, Chris, the 130 players that left him off. That's jealousy. No, seriously. That's lunacy. Steph doesn't respect what he's put together? Dirk Nowitzki on his first list.
No business.
No LeBron, no business on that list. Shame on that. I mean, where's Larry Bird? My God.
Exactly.
Chris, where's Larry Bird?
If you're not going with LeBron at the three, you can go with Bird. Or Dr. J. There's a lot before Dirk.
And then to leave him off again and put Kobe?
Well, Kobe's not even a three. I get it. He can play it. But
you know what I mean. But I just think it's disrespectful. I'm just going to say it. And they keep disrespecting LeBron, and this is where his complex comes in. That even guys who have competed against him don't respect him for whatever reason. I don't get that. I don't.
I don't think it's a lack of respect from Steph. I think it's this, Rob, and you kind of touched on it as you began speaking. If you notice, both of those lists, whichever one you want to go with, none of them are Steph's contemporaries. He is not competing against any of them. And I think that he is saying, look, I'm still competing against LeBron or whoever you want to throw, Giannis or Jokic or whoever. And I'm not going to put them on a pedestal while I'm going against them. See, I don't want LeBron James to have any little inkling. Obviously, they know how great each other are. But I don't want him to have any inkling of I think he's this or that. And I actually want to get in his head a little bit.
Chris, here's why
I want him to question, wow, does Steph really think I can, I'm all that? I'm that guy? And that's what I think this is, right? I I don't think it's like a lack of respect for LeBron. Although, look, they've had a strange relationship early on. Remember, LeBron went to Davidson to watch Steph play, and they hung out a little when Steph was a younger player at LeBron's house. And then when they began competing against each other, they had some run-ins during the finals. And remember the Halloween party LeBron had where, Steph and Clay, it was like Steph and Clay cookies or something, like tombstones or something like that. And then, of course, lately, LeBron's been very complimentary of Steph and all that. So they kind of had an up and down relationship. But I think they're cool, but I think that's what this is, Rob.
See, this is why I'm going to push back and say I disagree. Ray Allen came out with his list. He played with LeBron and won a championship. LeBron wasn't in his top 5. Ray Allen, like seriously, Chris, played with LeBron.
That's not pushing back on my Steph take,
no.
but you're just saying.
But I'm just saying, like, the disrespect.
LeBron. Okay.
All right. Charles Barkley and those guys who didn't play, not a contemporary of theirs. They don't have him in their top 10. Kenny Smith didn't have him in his top 10.
Kenny's now he's got 10. Him, I think, top 5.
No, but I'm saying at the time, how was he not in the top 10?
I agree.
Come on, these are NBA guys who know the game, Chris. He's one of the all-time greats. And you just go, there's player after player who go out of their way not to put him in their top 5 or top 10 is mind-boggling to me. And I think that's where the lack of respect. So that's why I look at it as more than just Steph being a contemporary. I get the contemporary part, but this keeps happening. Aren't you shocked that Ray Allen, who won a championship with LeBron, doesn't have him he's in the same locker room we played with the guy, competed with the guy. He doesn't think he's in his top 5? The all-time leading scorer in the NBA?
I don't think it. Look, I respect LeBron's breaking that record, and that's great. But we don't. I mean, we're not just saying, just because he's the all-time leading scorer.
No, I'm not saying just that.
Right. But obviously, look, you and I both have him second, only to Michael Jordan. He is the second greatest player ever in my book and in your book. So I'm with you there. I think, Rob, the disrespect, if we want to call it that, and you can, because as you said, a lot of guys don't have him in their top 5, top 3, whatever it might be. We've talked about it before, how a lot of players that face both of them put Kobe ahead of LeBron.
Right.
I think, Rob, and again, clearly we don't agree with this just because of where we have LeBron ranked. But honestly, Rob, I think this is what it boils down to, because most of those guys are from an earlier era. Obviously, Steph's not. But I think, Rob, what it comes down to, and this is just my opinion, no player has told me this. I think it is the fact that LeBron joined, like kind of created his own super team and then continued to do that. And even up to this past summer was, vocally recruiting Kyrie. I think players look at that and say, I just think that, and again, this is just my guess. I think that is where it stems from. I don't know where else it could come from. You can't, his game, I get it. Okay, he's not, as smooth as Mike or Kobe. He's not an awesome shooter, a great shooter, but he can score with the best of them. He was a great defender in his prime. He's a great rebounder for his position. He's obviously a tremendous passer. Like what is not to like about his game? And I think it boils down to that, Rob. Like, guys are like, he was stacking the deck. And look at Kobe. Kobe never did that. Kobe pushed Shaq out, in fact. Now, Kobe did, talk about going to the Clippers or the Bulls, but he obviously never did. Right, he did one out. Shaq, guy, it's just unique that LeBron did that. Durant did that, obviously. Steph, they recruited Durant, but it was his team. Like, Wade doesn't get that pushback because it was his team. So I don't know, Rob. That's all I can fathom that it might be. Do you agree with that?
It might have a little to do with that, but it's mind-boggling. Like,
what else could it be?
Jealousy. What else? It has to be. What else could it be, Chris? It doesn't make sense. Like, either you respect the league that he's in and what he's been able to accomplish. You might not like the way he did his business, but he did play hard and he did,
he was
win.
Fantastic.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a degree of that's weird to me. That's all I'm saying. And I think that them doing that and discounting him, and that's why he's always asking for his respect. Like, remember that after he won in the bubble.
Yeah.
Now I want y'all to give me my damn respect. That's what he said.
Right.
Who says that unless you really feel like people don't respect you?
I took that. I might be wrong. I took that as him thinking he's the GOAT, which obviously he said before. And that. Now, you might be right. Maybe he was looking at it deeper, like, dudes don't respect me. I'm not seeing my name on these lists like I should be. I was looking at it as just strictly versus Jordan.
But you see what I'm
but
saying?
You might be right. Yeah. I mean,
he's feeling like, really? Like even if you might say, even if Steph, I can respect this, Chris. I'm going to leave LeBron and myself off the list because we still playing. Okay. Right? Could he have said that?
Yeah, that's different. Because
I'm just saying, he could have said that.
I do believe about Steph in particular. I do believe he just like, look, I'm competing against this dude, and maybe it has something to do with some of the disrespect, in the middle of their careers when they were facing each other in the finals. But I'm talking more in terms of a lot of these players, as you said, who have left him off lists. That's all I can fathom.